You need proof? Here it go. People see who you are before you do. If you were growing up and you always was bullied as a kid, you always felt isolated, even now as an adult, you feel like a triangle in a square. I know I do sometimes, where you don't feel like you really fit in any sort of crowd or friend group. You feel that you stand out of a lot of people. You have to understand, even when you out and people stare for no reason, you catch people staring at you. They're not staring because they mugging. They see something in you. And you have to understand, sometimes people that see things in you will not necessarily cherish that. They'll look at you and want to tear you down or cloud your own judgment so you never see what they see in you. Keep going and keep shining. People see you, boo.
Too much
Welcome to
media.
Too Much
Tune
Media.
Welcome to
in
Too Much
to
Media.
Too
Have
Much
fun.
Media.
Too much
Much
media.
media.
Good morning, good morning. I hope everybody has gotten an early start today. I hope we're all a part of the Early Risers Club. Personally, I promise you, I had to fight an army of demons in order to get up today. It was actually so difficult. I'm having a late 7 a.m. start, but still trying to get at it, still trying to make sure that, I just didn't quit on myself. But when I tell you, it took everything in me. I barely won that fight. I barely made it. What actually helped me was the fact that yesterday I woke up really extra early and I had a great start to my day or whatever, right? So then I leave, I start my walk or whatever around 6:30, right? Which was my exact goal, was to like wake up like I woke up 5:45, did my whole thing, got ready, did a bit of cardio, and then I was finished perfect time, 6:30. Now the sun is up enough that I'm not scared to leave. I started leaving the house. I get like, when I'm telling you like 10% into my walk or something, bro, it starts pouring rain. Luckily, I was at the perfect area to find shelter because there was like one of those like, those like picnic table type areas, but then they have like the roof over them. There was one of those, so I got into that, waited for like this in between moment where like the rain technically didn't stop, but it was drizzling just enough, for me to get back to the house. And that kind of messed up my whole day or whatever. But then there was this lady who was also stuck under there, but she came even less prepared. She was wearing like a t-shirt, like she was barely dressed, and she was old, and she was Habesha, she could barely speak English. I felt bad because while I was leaving, she was like, oh, like, look at me, like, I don't have nothing, please. I'm like, girl, I don't got nothing either. You see how I came? So I walked back to the house, grabbed my umbrella, grab like, a sweater for her. And I couldn't find like a good one, like a raincoat or something like that, that could like cover her head and like everything like that. So I just brought her something to keep her warm and then like a trash bag to keep her dry. Then I walked back, right? But at this point, it's like kind of at the time of my day where I actually have work to do. So I actually had to head home. Tell me why as soon as I come and I get the lady the stuff, she starts walking back. She starts walking back to her house or whatever with the stuff I gave her. She's like, thank you, thank you. She starts walking back. The rain stops. I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God, what kind of games are you playing right now? Like, was this a test to see if I would go and save her? Because Loki, after she asked me for that, and I was like, girl, I don't have anything. Like, there's no way, there's nothing for me to give you because literally the clothes on my body is all I leave with when I leave for my walk every day. I purposely leave as light as possible because I run and I walk. Like, it's a mixture. It's a very long walk. So I try to run most of it. So I need to be lightweight. So I'm like, I'm literally just wearing a sweater, pants, and shoes. In my pockets is literally a phone and keys. Like, I don't have anything. So when she asked me, I'm like, girl, like, I don't know what to do. And she had kind of been annoying me while I was sitting at the thing, because she was kind of like, she kept trying to sit in front of me and stuff. And I kept feeling like she was trying to get my attention, but she never said anything. And it was just kind of awkward at first. Then it's right when I leave that she really got my attention. She realized this was her last opportunity, when she was just like, girl, like, please, do you have anything? And I'm like, I don't have anything that can give you that would like not leave me here stranded with no shirt too. So, and the sweater I'm even wearing is technically cloth. Like, even me, it's not helping that much. I'm still getting really wet. Even today, I usually like to wear that sweater every day, and it's still wet. I hung it up. The sweater's so thick that since it got wet, it's still wet, and it's been a day. So then I was just like, as I was walking back, I was like, yeah, I can't leave her at the park alone, barely speaking English, raining, just in a t-shirt, looking sad and like, hopeless. I was just like, oh Lord, I have an umbrella. It's not like I can't walk back and try to help. And I'm already wet at this point. Who's it gonna hurt? And my walk is already ruined by this rain. The bare minimum I could do is try to help somebody in need, since my walk has been messed up. And it's like, I don't like to walk when it rains that deeply, because there's extreme, even if I had like the umbrella and I can walk and stuff, I walk on a trail. So it's like, there's like dips in the trail where puddles build up, and then it's like not really a way to get around the puddle, because after a while, if other people walk on the trail while it's raining and they go around the puddle onto the grassy area, even that grassy area starts turning extremely muddy and starts having sinks in it from everyone's footsteps, and then that starts becoming another puddle too. So it's like a whole dam basically after it rains. And then even in the areas where I'm not on the trail and it's like the sidewalk and street and stuff, the street has mad puddles. You can't really get around. Then there's like, drainage areas that cause big rivers, because it was like raining bad. So I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, I'm already wet. My socks are wet. My shoes are wet. My pants are wet. My sweatshirt's wet. This is like, and also it's like a thing where I need to be conscious of not, potentially catching like a cold, because I'm out here playing in the rain. So I was just like, yeah, walk ruined for today, but I got a good cardio in. I woke up at the actual accurate time I'm trying to wake up at. So I've proved it's possible. And I helped the old lady out. Like, it is what it is. Every day is not going to be perfect. So that's why it is kind of important to me to like, do it every day, because it's like on the days it's perfect, it's like, wow, you did it perfect. On the days it's not, it's like, okay, you needed all those days where it wasn't perfect to lead up to the perfect day, So, that's why even today I was kind of on some, I'm low-key finna take a day off. Like, this is so annoying. Like, I feel so, I don't know, water really fatigues me. I feel like that's a trend I noticed. Like, if you go swimming and stuff like that, like, I don't know, it's something about the rest of the day. You can't move. Or like, if you, so on and so forth. Like, water just makes you tired. Like, even on days where it's a rainy day, it's like you want to take a nap and stuff. But so then today, this morning, I don't know, I feel like I was feeling like the effects of yesterday today. And then I was trying to like kind of bargain with myself in bed and stuff. And that's where you mess up. When you start laying there and bargaining, you're going to mess up. Get up immediately. As soon as you start to hear yourself bargain, that's when you know it's time to lift up. Raise every voice and it's just time to go. Still I rise, right? You gotta hit the Maya Angelou. Every time you start coming up with a new bargain, oh, Yukon, Justin? So every single time you start coming up with a new bargain, you still I rise. Another bargain, still I rise. But what about this? Still I rise. But you could still I rise. But how about still I rise? Oh, but tomorrow still I rise. Like, you gotta rise up. This is the loudest car in the history of cars. I wish they would drive away. Oh, of course it's one of these. Those Chevys, Dodge, Charger. I forgot what the name of those cars are. Charger or something like that. Those cars are so annoying. And the people who drive them are even more annoying. Anyway. What else was I talking about? Oh yeah. So then today, I'm trying to bargain with myself or whatever. What got me to stop bargaining with myself was I was like, oh, but what if it's about to rain today again? Yesterday I didn't check the weather. That's what messed me up. Let me check the weather before I go. I checked the weather and I'm like, if it's raining, I'm not going. Like, that means for real, like, stop playing with me. I checked the weather. It's like it's not going to rain, obviously. That's why y'all hear me and see me now. But then what doubled it down for me is it said it's going to rain tomorrow. And I was like, oh, hell no. If you mess around and find out, like, if it rains tomorrow and then you didn't go today because you were making excuses, that's 2 days in a row instead of just 1 day. And that's insane. Like, no, I'm not messing up my progress just to sit around at the house making excuses about nothing. So I jumped right up after that. But that was just a little intro to today's video. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I know there's a lot of new people. We're a creative mastery channel. So we talk all things creativity, different things that help improve your creativity, and just how you can push your creativity forward in order to self-master and improve your life all around, okay? And if you are returning, thank you. Shout out to you. You know, I fuck with you. Make sure you guys are like liking, commenting, subscribing, just doing stuff that shows the channel, that shows YouTube that the channel is active and that people are in here. You know, it's just good to have some movement so we can build a small community and discuss our different creative topics. Today, what I really want to talk about was potential privilege, okay? This is a, This is a term and phrase like I just recently coined because I see the rise of us discussing, for example, pretty privilege. And although pretty privilege can help you in your creative space, depending on, you know, what aspect of creativity you are pursuing. Because, you know, if you're like in the front end of the entertainment industry where you're trying to be the talent, pretty privilege is going to get you far. But if you're on the back end where you're just working behind the scenes, more doing like producer stuff, camera work, writing, you know, different aspects like that, it's not as needed. However, of course, it's a privilege, so it works wherever you go. However, I feel as though there is a lot of different types of privileges. Privilege is something that you can like dissect down to kind of almost everything. You know, there's height privilege. As a tall person, I can speak to that. Like, there's There's foreigner privilege. You know, if you like are from another place and you have like more aspects to your background than just, you know, one place. It's a privilege. It can be privileging. There's religious privilege. There's, you know, a lot of different stuff. There's what's it called? The hell? Intelligence privilege, education privilege, financial privilege, social privilege, gender privilege. The privileges go on and on. Today I want to talk about potential privilege because this is something I realized lately that I suffer from, for one. Okay? I feel like it's very obvious that I have the potential for a lot of things. And it's something too that once I realize that it's something that I suffer from, is I also realize comes with much more than, since I've never really realized that it's something that is seen in me, because it's hard to understand how you're perceived by other people. What you think of yourself is usually just fairly basic. You just think of yourself as yourself because you're with yourself every day. So it's nothing special to you. It's like drinking water. It's like you're not thinking water is all that great or special because you drink it every day. That's why you're always excited when you get a chance to drink juice, or you get a chance to drink, some people alcohol, soda, whatever people like to drink, things that are besides water, coffee, matcha, tea, lemonade, things that are outside of water seem more exciting because water is needed to survive. It's a daily occurrence. So water seems kind of just like, oh, it's just water. It's not a big deal. Of course I drink water. I love water, but it's water. H2OO, So for yourself, it's usually kind of a similar thing where you're not really thinking too much about yourself as far as what other people think about you. You're just like, oh, it's just me, So once I kind of realized that in myself, people see potential as to the type of person I am and what things I possibly can get done, I realized that I think that the fact that I have potential privilege has also, because I never realized that I have it, brought on a lot of burdens on me and attracted a lot of people that I didn't realize I was attracting, purely because of potential. Of I walk into the room and it's like, oh my God, she's clearly going places. Better latch on now before she's too far gone. And then I don't have a chance to latch on. And I realized that recently. I'm not going to tell you guys why I realized that, but I realized that recently. And I was just like, okay, it's not about me per se in this current moment, in this current body, because that's what I always think. It's what do I got what do I got that you don't? We all kind of sitting in the same place right now, right? But then I thought to myself, there has to be something. And I realized, no, it's not about what I have right now. It's not about my current state. It's about what my current state says about my future. People are future oriented. We think about tomorrow as well as today. So it's not about when they see me and they're like, oh my gosh, there's something about her today. It's like, no, something about her today tells me that as time goes on, she's going to improve what's happening today. And if it gets any better than it is now, clearly, it's a lot's coming. I remember just a couple weeks ago, right? I was at the store getting food or whatever, and I'm in line. And I'm just doing me, I'm grabbing food, I'm talking to people, just being slightly sociable, but also fairly peaceful, grabbing my stuff and whatnot. A lady comes up from behind me and taps me. And I'm like, oh, yes. And she's like, oh, I just wanted to tell you that you just have a great demeanor and you have just a great, energy and way that you are. oh my God, like, I just know that whatever you're doing in life, you're gonna go far. Like, you're amazing. Like, I just was been watching you from over there this whole time, and you're just like something, like, or whatever. I forget exactly what she said, but she was just complimenting me about the way I am. And then everyone who was around in the line, who I was talking to in my near vicinity, was like, yes, it's true. They all started agreeing. The whole interaction cracked me up, but it was a little humbling, because I was just like, oh wow, oh my God, thank you. Like, I was just a little bit like, oh, I was not expecting all of this. Like, guys, like, please, you're gonna, oh, like, this is too much. Like, you guys are all lovely as well, like, please. But everyone just started agreeing with her. No, really, she's right. Like, I agree. Like, definitely, definitely. And I was just like, okay, thank you guys so much. Like, and I got my stuff and I left. But that just goes to show you that people notice, okay? And that moment kind of helped, like, add to my point, helped me see that that's what was actually going on in a lot of aspects of people being able to see not just my potential, but like other people's potential. Like, when you have something that is very obvious that there's a potential to you. And I realized that for myself too, of like mistakes I've made as far as like people who I've kept around me as well, that I see potential in, and I'm such a sucker for that, I'm such a sucker for seeing somebody fighting for something that they truly believe in and seeing the potential that maybe they don't even see in themselves, and wanting to encourage that and see that flourish and see that blossom, And I realized that, okay, so it's like the issue I'm facing when I'm allowing someone who I'm seeing like, oh, okay, it's obvious that you have the potential, that's an issue of me allowing it and sometimes attracting people that I shouldn't be attracting, But on the vice versa, I'm not realizing that a lot of people are seeing that in me, and I'm also attracting people who are seeing it in me, and then latching and attracting people to see it in me, and then latching on in ways that is not beneficial to me as someone with potential. Is when you have potential privilege, it's very delicate, okay? It's something that you have to really guard, and something that you have to, protect at all costs, because, potential for different things sometimes has a time state, sometimes has a point in time where it might be able to go away, especially if you don't nourish it enough, and you eventually burn out, So you have to be careful with potential privilege, is what I've realized. Another thing about potential privilege, is that you are usually trying to find, when you're attracting people that you deem on your same caliber, right? So when you have potential privilege, you're usually quite talented at a lot of things. You're usually quite good at, being very effortful, like where you put a lot of effort in most things that you do. You try to do the best quality in most things that you do, right? So that puts you in like a real top-notch group, a real peer group of other people who are seeking to do more, people who are, putting in their best foot forward in life. But the issue with potential privilege is because it's very easy for people to see that in you and put potential in you. Sometimes mutually ambitious people that you're trying to attract, you accidentally find fake ambitious people who just want to latch on because they see that you're ambitious. And so your ambition is like a cheat code for them of like, if I'm around this ambitious person, then I can just be seen as more ambitious than I actually am, purely by association. So this person is clearly ambitious. So I'll just stick around the group of people who are ambitious and then do the bare minimum to be able to stick around them. But I'm not actually ambitious. I just like being around ambitious people because I understand the benefits around being around people who do more, who take the extra step and stuff. But if I stick around like people who have the same amount of laziness as me, nothing will get done. So I need to be around the ambitious people. So I have to do more than I would normally do so that they can accidentally mistake me as ambitious, but only enough to be around. Once they latch on to me, once they get into the circle, then they can get back to their lazy ways, and it's harder to recognize because it's like, how did you even get here without putting in work? Clearly you know how to put in work. Clearly you have put in work, but so you do have some sort of ambition, but it's like, no, they don't have ambition. They have just enough, they just put in just enough energy to be seen as ambitious by having some sort of qualification. Maybe it's a degree, maybe like they'll just do just enough of something that makes them look ambitious so that they can attract people with potential and who are actually ambitious, and then they can just ride the wave, sit back and relax, right? Because some people fake ambition to be around the real ambitious people. They understand the value and the social currency of potential. Therefore, they oftentimes do just enough to be seen as a peer. However, internally, they have no motivation and utilize external validation to seek status. This means they will surround themselves with beneficial people to seem more successful and hardworking than they actually are or ever want to be. Being truly ambitious makes you a target for this reason. So it's like, yes, potential privilege, it comes with a lot, because especially when you don't realize that people are seeing potential in you, you're also not understanding the potential harms of the people who are wanting to be seen around you, because you don't think of anything of yourself because potential is unrealized. You haven't done anything yet, technically. So you might think less of yourself than you actually should, even though you're on the path to knowing you're supposed to think more of yourself, because you haven't reached whatever your high ambitious state is looking towards. You know, a part of potential privilege is being ambitious, because that's how the potential is created. It's because you know you want more, you know you seek for a lot, and therefore you act that way. You know, you do more when the time comes. You're polite to people because you know that, your reputation is gonna matter for what you're seeking. Your what's it called? Your intelligence. You're always educating yourself on different topics and learning more because you are going for something that is gonna take someone who knows a lot of things. You're at every state of your being, you're doing more than average. You're above average, So that is where the potential is created. Once the potential is created, it's clear that you're quite ambitious. It's very obvious to people that they have to seem as though they're just like that in order to be around you. Or else why would you allow someone to come and, ruin your ambition or ruin your potential? You're probably going to seek like-minded people. Okay? So that's why it makes you a target, because it's like, if someone knows that you might do something, it's like, it's smarter to be around someone who might do something before they do it. They're way more likely to be, beneficial towards you if they know that you saw something in them before they actually became it, right? Another thing about potential privilege is these people will use you as proof of their hard work and as a fake peer in seeking more. So it's like, even though they're around you thinking, oh yeah, you have potential, it's like they also understand that you're going to attract more people who are in the same realm as you and who are in the same route as you. So therefore, even if it doesn't work out with you, they latch onto you in order to see who else comes around you and then therefore grab onto that, right? That's the issue with potential privilege. A lot of people with that come around you, you naturally attract those types of people. So that's another reason why when someone sees your potential privilege, they might latch on too. It's because they understand that you'll lead them to more. It's like finding a trail of breadcrumbs. It's like, oh, found one piece of bread. This will lead me to the next one. So it's also a thing of networking, right? Another thing is they are secretly very lazy and wait only to do the bare minimum to be able to socially integrate themselves. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's like a thing where after you befriend these people, after they get around you, you slowly start to realize that although they were able to do something that creates potential in them, they're actually not very hardworking. They know how to get around the right potential privileged people in order to get tips and tricks and secrets. They know how to do something just enough to be seen as someone with potential as well. They kind of know everything it takes to create a mirage basically. But once you start interacting with them more and get to really know them is when you realize that they're quite lazy and don't actually have the same level of ambition as you. And I feel as though that's why this is an important subject to talk about, because once you do realize that the person doesn't have the same type of ambition as you, or the same type of, morals as you, or the same type of level of potential as you need to cut it immediately. I think that the problem a lot of us face with potential privilege is that because we have so much of it and our ambition kind of is a never-ending stream, it kind of becomes a thing where we don't worry as much as we should. We don't see threats as actual threats like we should. We see them as just potential, what's it called? Potential hiccups, but nothing that could technically really stop us, right? But no, a hiccup can become much more than a hiccup. All it takes is a crack in your windshield for the rest of the windshield to potentially just shatter. As soon as there was one little crack in your windshield, you're supposed to get it replaced because it damages the integrity of the entire windshield. So when you see a crack in the person's, actual level of ambition or potential, it damages the integrity of your relationship with them because they may accidentally take their crack and bring it into you, right? So you need to shut it down immediately. That's why this is an important topic, because these type of threats and these type of eventual problems that arise is things that once you realize that you've addressed, you have to avoid, okay? They're happy to be seen as just a friend of, For them, the reason that they seek looking like they have potential, seeming ambitious, seeming as though they're doing something, is because their highest level that they're set on is just being around people who are ambitious and just being around people with potential, because they can just eat off the leftovers, right? So for them, being seen as friend of is enough, not actually being the one to go out there and do something, to go out there and, speak up, to go out there and whatever it is not something they actually want, okay? They just want to seem like they might one day, but truly being friend of the person who actually does it is enough for them. They can just say, oh yeah, but I'm friends with so-and-so. I'm friends with so-and-so. I'm friends with so-and-so. The last issue that I want to bring up with potential privilege, that is the biggest reason you need to not only recognize if you have potential privilege, but also, notice if people who are seeing the level that level in you are seeing it in you and trying to capitalize on it is because they will slowly feed off your energy or seek the peers you bring along to hop onto new people. So, yes, like that's just to reiterate, it's like your energy will be gone dealing with these types of people, right? Because because you see them as peers and because you see them as fellow, you'll always be expecting that the level of energy you put into your relationship with them is going to be put back, but you'll eventually realize that the energy is going one way. You'll continuously be putting in energy, putting in energy, putting in energy to this person's potential to eventually be sucked dry. Think of Issa and Lawrence from season 1 of Insecure. Do you remember how Issa saw so much potential in Lawrence? She knew that he was tall, good looking, well educated, quite charming, happy go lucky. Like he kind of had all of the makings of someone with unlimited potential, someone who could be everything all at once, right? And because she saw all that potential in him, she poured so much. But the reason why Lawrence was around her is because he equally saw so much potential in her, and she didn't realize that her own potential was what was being seen in her, and therefore she just thought of him as someone with potential as well, right? So she thought of them as equal. Therefore, she was willing to do whatever it takes to nourish his potential, to see him do more. So she would work all the time. She got a job so she could basically take care of him, you know. She always tried to keep a positive spirit so that he would have energy to seek his ambitions out. She would, She just did everything she could to help this person and to be with this person, right? And what did he do? He sat around and sucked her energy dry, and she did everything she could for him with never actually see him fight towards any real goal or ambition, right? And she wasn't realizing was that the potential she was seeing in Lawrence was the potential she actually had for herself. Because after she left him, she finally capitalized on her own potential. She created her own successful business. She started doing more. She started creating, the life that she actually wanted to live instead of the life that she didn't have enough energy to create because it was all being taken away by Lawrence. This is why someone with potential privilege can quickly be turned into a disadvantage if you are sought by the wrong person and if you are not, properly cultivating it. So you have to be really careful. Oh, they took down the Trump equals Hitler sign. There used to be a Trump equals Hitler sign, anyway. So yeah, it's like a thing where that's what ended up happening to her. But the minute she got away with him and she was able to regain all of that energy that she had been giving to him and that he was wasting, he was just letting it be, wasted energy and his sitting around. She could take all of it, and then she actually did something with it. She actually made it into something. And look at him too. As soon as he didn't have anyone's energy to suck, he actually started creating potential, real potential, instead of making fake one. And that's the thing I'm talking about too, where they'll do just enough to have potential, because that's exactly what he did to Issa. He was technically college educated, he technically had an app concept and all this stuff. He did all just enough to have an excuse to Issa as to why he should be allowed to sit around at home all day. He worked hard for all those years to become this version of himself who seemed just good enough to be left as potential. And once you see that the person is not actually using potential, but is just a fake ambitious person who's trying to latch on, you gotta cuddy. You need to cuddy. Cuddy, 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 All right? Quickly. Hurry up. Run, don't walk.
Too much
Welcome
media.
to Too Much Media.
Tune
Welcome to
in
Too Much
to
Media.
Too
Have
Much
fun.
Media. Too much media.